whatever. We had to circle back around. Oh, bruh. Hold on. Okay. Busting. All right, it's just telling me the joint is being streamed. Bet.
Okay, cool.
All right. So what were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about burnout.
And then books. I'm just waiting on Boots and Cats in here because I know that's who asked the question.
Got you.
So
Perfect.
When I see him in the chat, we'll get back and finish up the book convo because I know he wanted to know that.
Yeah, them 3 gems at him.
Yes,
yeah, we got the 111. We bike. We sounded good.
All right.
Somebody typed out the 111. You got time today.
Today I got time, Chris.
All right. Let's see. Boom. Justin versus I had to touch on that. Another thing. Real quick, something to touch on, I guess, until Boots and Cats gets back in here, and then we can get back to the book recommendations. Is the last couple of weeks we've been talking about consistency, right? It's talking about how if you do the same thing on a schedule, like a specific thing, like you become known for that thing. Right. So a real life practice is I'm in another Starbucks phase of my life, right? I have an order at Starbucks that is specific. It's very specific. It's not like crazy, annoying specific, but it's specific enough. So when I first started getting it, I would just order it. Then after coming there consistently, like if I go every day, now people start knowing the order. As soon as I start ordering it, I say one thing, they're like, oh, and then they can finish the order for me. Like, oh, I know what you want. I know who it is. And then after like another week, now you know my name. You know what I mean? By the way, for anybody who don't know, my real name is William, right? So I pull up, and as soon as I pull up and I start my order, they're like, oh, William, what's up? And then the people in the back, you can hear them over the back, oh, William, what's up? But that comes from me being consistent every day, getting the same thing. And it's unique enough that you hear it, you're like, oh, everyone knows who that is.
Yeah, so I want to know what it is. What's the uniqueness about what you order?
Grande vanilla chai tea latte, hot, no water, no foam, almond milk, 2 shots of espresso. You hear that, you know, they know who it is every time. They know exactly who it is. And now it becomes a thing. So now I can pull up and just be like, yo, it's me. And they're like, bet, got you, pull around. But that is just a real life example of consistency. Not necessarily on purpose to get something, but that just goes to show like the byproduct of being consistent is gonna happen in any situation. Like consistency breeds some type of byproduct. So
IDK
I just thought that was interesting.
IDK says it's called a dirty soy chai. That's what I get to.
Yep.
I had no idea.
Or no soy, but yeah, dirty chai. A dirty chai. Yep.
Yeah, but
sure.
Hey man, I know nothing about coffee since I don't do the dairy. Man. You know what I mean?
It's technically a tea with with espresso in it. So yeah, in case you want to try it out yourself, grande vanilla chai tea latte, hot, no water, no foam, almond milk, 2 shots of espresso.
Yeah,
something that simple got me known, and that's the same thing in restaurants that I go to all the time. Yeah. Pull up my favorite bar. I'll come in, they just make the drink. You don't have to say anything, but all of that is from consistency. So take that and apply it to everything else, and you see what it is.
Facts. Yo, yes, I thought this was interesting, bro. You ever like, you know how it's like Sway the Remix God, and it's a couple other people, they'll take like a viral clip, they make a beat around it. I always wondered how the business went with like putting it out as a song, right? It's always one of the things like, are they just like splitting it? So, you know, a couple months back, the girl super glued her hair, which sounds wild, bro, to even say that someone did that out loud. And so dog, like she's suing them because that song is like blowing up. So I don't know how that works, because it's like you're sampling somebody, but you're sampling somebody from, you know what I'm saying? Like it's
from the internet, yeah.
Yeah, but it's like, how does that work, bro? I never even thought about that.
That's a good question. I guess is one of them things. Now I'm just off the top, have no clue. I'm assuming it's one of them things like it's happened to many people, but nobody was ever like, I'm going to sue. because maybe it brought him 15 minutes of fame or whatever. But it's like a defamation of character type thing. Like people talk about people all the time, and then occasionally you hear about a person suing for defamation of character.
Gotcha.
And you're like, oh yeah, I guess you can't do that. I'm assuming maybe it's the same thing because because she didn't seem to get any type of enjoyment out of her viral success. Like it wasn't a thing that she was proud of or something that was funny, and she's like, oh, I just became this thing because of she felt bad about it. It was a medical emergency, so I guess she like, nah, I'm not having the shit. You're not gonna make a song about me either. Yeah. So yeah, good for her. I'm curious to see. Could you be our Gorilla Glue correspondent? Keep an eye on what happens.
I don't know how much. I just saw that pop up. I was like, she's suing them. But then it's like, made me think like, yo, what is the structure of these kind of deals? Like, is it like one of those like, we're going to release the song, we're going to split it 50-50, you the artist kind of joint?
Right.
You know what I mean? But then it's like, if you're embarrassed by the whole thing, it's reminding people how you did something stupid. I could kind of see how you don't want that song all over.
I want to say that they broke bread with remember the dude Antoine Dotson?
Oh yeah,
he was the first one of
he was smart
viral remix people. I want to say the people that did that broke some bread with him. Also, even though they did that, they weren't doing like viral videos. Like that was the first time they did a video like that. They were doing they were the people that did auto-tune the news, and they would do auto-tune the news every day. And then when that happened with Antoine Dotson, they made up that song. And that was the first viral song and one of the first like real viral videos. And I think they broke bread on that.
It's such a weird, I don't want to say weird time, but it's just like so many different ways. Cause like you think of like those guys who do the remixes to viral stuff, bro, they be selling beats. Bro, Sway the remix got like a Megan Thee Stallion placement. He got like huge records, bro, and it came from him doing these memes. So it's like it's so many just different lanes to like to be a producer that you don't have to just stick with one thing,
Consistency, bro.
Thanks.
Consistency. We talked about this the other day. I was on Riser's podcast on Wednesday night, and we
how was that?
Talked about that. It was dope, man. By the way, we gotta get a Trizza episode. There was talks of a Trizza episode during my episode. We got a realistic episode coming up.
Hey,
so gotta get that Trizza episode up on there.
Yeah, let's get it. Young Greg. Oh. Greg Smith, what up, man?
Craig Smith. All right. What we got? What we got in the chat? I'm gonna pull up my list again too.
It said, "Are you guys looking into virtual headset classes? No. Like by virtual headset, is that like VR? I ain't gonna cap, bro. My homeboy has been dying to get me on VR. Every time I talk to him, he's been putting this like, yo, go buy. And
I heard it's fire.
I might, man, because he makes beats in there, bro.
See, you gotta hype me up about it.
Somehow he has it so it's like he uses the VR and he's like a basically a character, and then he's got like everything just out here, so he's looking and he can go over here and mess with stuff, and it looks cool, but I just don't know how. I would have to try it and be like, oh, I like this, what I mean?
I did something like that in Germany when I was at Able and Loop. They had a whole like VR room where you could do the virtual production joint. I thought it was cool and this was a few years ago. It's probably cooler now, but it just seemed like a novelty to me. Like I'm like, it's cool, but I can't really get done in here what I'm really trying to do. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel it.
Yeah, it's like trying to have a boxing match with like Halloween costume gloves on. And I'm not really doing what I'm supposed to be doing here. But the concept is dope, and I just want somebody to hype me up on it when it gets like super dope.
It just made me think of Virtual Boy back in the day and give you the mean headache. I don't know if you remember the Virtual Boy.
I do,
bruh. That you had a meanest headache playing that drink.
I'm good.
I'm sure that ain't got better, but
Yeah, I'm good. That interview was awesome. I've been watching it today. Oh, thank you, Fiction Wise. Appreciate you.
Yes, man. I don't know what's going on.
I found my topic. I found my topics here, man.
Okay, cool. As a fellow member of Laker Nation, how are you feeling, man? I know this ain't basketball talk, but I'm sad, man. I'm just sad because the way we went out, we didn't show no heart, man. So I'm disappointed. You know, that's the worst way. If we would have went out fighting, I would have been cool with it. But it's just the fact that they gave up, man. And Devin Booker's great. So yeah.
Hey man.
Sorry, I had to get that out. I'm hurt. Yeah, sorry, I had to get that out. All right. Let's see. Oh, Ilman's doing it. Ilman is always on the forefront of doing some very new stuff.
Definitely.
So it don't surprise me. Yeah. I'm not gonna cap. Still with the NFTs and all this stuff. And bro, I just listened to something and they're talking about how NFTs are the bubble is like bursting and how they're like the sales are horrible now. Like I said, I think it's one of those things is eventually it's gonna happen, but it's still not enough information and it happened so quick that I felt like it had to burst at one point. You know?
It did. Because everything was what are NFTs, and even though people were giving explanations after the explanations were given, people were like, all right, great, but what are NFTs?
Yeah,
I don't think that there was enough public education about NFTs for a lot of people to get into it. But shout out to the ones that did, for sure.
Thanks. All right, what you got? You got any questions, my dog?
No, man. Yes, actually, okay. I do. I have topics, but this topic I'm going to lead off with a question. I'm going to ask the chat, but I'm also asking you, as with many questions, have you ever been labeled difficult to work with, and why, if so? And as you ponder upon your answer, what brought it up was because a friend of mine I was talking to this week. And he was just talking about somebody, a colleague, musical colleague, that was just very difficult to work with. Some of his points were valid. Others I just thought were not valid. And it got me to thinking, how often does this happen in our community, in our musical community? Like, how often are people labeled difficult to work with? And then I thought, has it ever happened to me? And the answer is yeah, about 4 or 5 times, believe it or not. It's like 4 or 5 people out there that will tell you I'm difficult to work with. But there was a common denominator between all of those people, and I'm going to talk about that in a minute. But before I answer, I'd like to ask you, Young Trizza, have you ever been labeled difficult to work with?
I have a couple of times, but I feel like we're going to have similar answers in the type of person that it always happens with. Because every time that I've had the issue, it's been in a circumstance of like, all right, we need to keep working. We need to finish this, right? Or we need to do something this kind of way. And I'm not going to back down from that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, all right, we need to keep going. And that's when it becomes an issue.
Yeah.
And not really just if it's just a normal thing, I feel like I'm, pretty easygoing. It ain't that much of drama going on, but if someone's a little lazy, sometimes it could be some issues.
Yeah, true. By the way, anybody in the chat, have you ever been labeled difficult to work with? Yeah. It's getting confusing. Hold on. Yes, because I like to create beats. Okay. All right. Around what I like and not what the artist likes. Okay. That would definitely make you difficult to work with.
Right. They're like, I ordered this custom beat. It's like,
right. You didn't sample the Incredible Hulk theme song like I asked you to.
I gave you an outline of what I wanted. Outline, schmoutline.
Dog, I have been labeled difficult to work with about 4 or 5 times. And every time I thought about it, the common denominator was 2 things. It was false urgency and money.
Oh, yeah.
And I'll tell you what I mean. It was usually a situation like, yo, we need the stems to X, Y, and Z beat that you did. We need them like now. The song has to be mixed in the morning. And of course, it's 11 p.m. at night, right? And back in the day, that was a thing for me. Because you're like, oh shit, potential placement, you get freaked out and shit. You're like, oh man, what should I do? It was one of them things. And eventually I got to a point where I'm like, nah, and I think it was just getting to a certain age. And I'll tell you this. This is going to be my bit of advice to you, not to you, but just to everybody in general. Take it or leave it. But this is how I govern things now. Your sense of urgency does not translate to me. If it's 11 p.m. at night and you call me and you all super frantic, oh my God, we got to do this now. We got to do this tomorrow. How long have you known about this?
No,
I'm pretty sure you didn't just find this out at 10:59 and call me at 11 p.m. to need the stems to know everything has to be mixed and mastered in the morning.
The label about to press the button, man. We need to turn this in by 12. I was like, right.
Facts.
Y'all do this.
Now that is what I call manufactured urgency.
Yeah.
Because a lot of time I couldn't judge if it was real or not. These situations do happen, but I'm just like, nah. So the reason why I would be labeled difficult to work with in those instances is, of course, I'm like, well, either what's up with the splits, what's up with whatever we discussed, or let's discuss something right now. And then also send me something. It don't got to be the final blah, 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 but it has to say this, that, and the third, just so we could keep it pushing. Oh man, I gotta be all that, blah, 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 blah. Man, look, we gotta get this, man. Ain't nobody got time. I'm like, listen, okay. So the motherfuckers that need the record and that can mix the record, all of them are up right now, but your lawyer's not up. Or that's whoever right. that can draft the thing. I'm talking about. That's the only person I need to talk whole to. Team. You acting like Santa's workshop, 24 hours, but that one person, oh no, they got to get their good sleep. And I've every time I've gone against that earlier before I became like that, I've always regretted it because it ended up being a chase down your money type of thing. You know what I mean? You kind of relinquish your leverage. So now I'm just like, I don't send me something, or I'm not sending you anything. I already don't have the placement. That's what I had to get in my head. I already don't have this, and I'm not gonna be manipulated into, like just doing all this stuff and then have to chase. So yeah, I'm like, nah, either send it or I'm going back to bed.
And hurry up and wait.
Yeah. So now, most people send something. It's still reluctantly, and they might not be too happy with me. But the thing is, if you can call me and almost demand immediately what you need, why can't I do the same thing to you?
That's right.
That's a problem, right? So at that point, I don't care what you think about. This is now. Earlier, I cared, and I'm like, I don't want to be labeled difficult, and I really want this placement. I really want this. Now I'm like, listen, if I can't ask you the same thing that you're asking me right now, if it's a problem, if you having a problem with what I'm saying to you, and it's the same thing you're saying to me, this is bullshit. And I really don't care.
No, that's real.
I really don't care. So I always wanted to have like what they call fuck you money. I don't have fuck you money, but I do have no money. Like,
that's
I'm just not doing this.
No money is fun. I can't wait to get to the fuck you money. That sounds incredible. That sounds
that's a goal. But yeah, just no money. But the times when I didn't have no money, I just had no money. These situations came up a lot, and they were really like life altering because people put you in this situation where you got about 59 minutes to comply, that type of. And I'm just like, how often does this really happen? I know it happens every now and again, but at a certain point, it's manufactured urgency. And if it's real every time, maybe I'm just around the wrong group of people or the wrong industry where things just happen like this all the time. I mean, maybe that's just me. But long story short, that's why I had been labeled difficult to work with, only by a few people. And that's fine with me. I was talking to Realistic yesterday. We had a long talk. I forgot what we were talking about, but we came to the realization, like jokingly, but like, yo, we're the type of people, in terms of you two, like we want our bread.
All right.
That's
my money, and I need it now.
Facts. So I've been through this, and I know how to navigate this type of situation. But there's somebody out there that's just starting or is going to go through this situation that might just at least need to hear a certain side of it. But just realize, man, you are entitled to certain things. Any type of pressure that someone puts you on, I feel like you immediately have the right to put them under the same pressure. And if they have a problem with it, something ain't right.
Facts.
If you really want it, you do what you got to do to get it.
Bro, I was laughing earlier because when you was like, when I had no money, I was like, no money. It reminded me of that Swiss Beats. So if y'all see me laughing out of nowhere in the middle of his sentence, that's what I'm laughing at, because it's this Swiss Beats video, and he tried to say something super deep, and it was such a weird analogy, and it just kind of got quiet in the room. And yeah, Oracle was hitting the philosophy, the bomb atomically.
Yeah. Socrates' philosophies. You understand?
Yeah. Let's see.
No money. I had no money.
Mayo says I've been labeled difficult to work with, especially towards the beginning of my career, and it was usually about being paid. I don't work for free. That's my common denominator. That's facts, bro.
Yeah. Listen, especially if it's somebody you already talked about, but you know how people are like, yeah, no, we get it straight, we get the pay, we get all that straight. And then that's when they'll hit you with the manufacturer urgency, and then all of a sudden the stuff that you talked about, like, yeah, we can take care of that Tuesday, but for right now, we need this right now. Other people will tell you differently, or may tell you differently based off of certain experiences. I'm here to say, fuck that.
Oh yeah.
Don't play that game. Every time I played that game, I've regretted it. Unless it's a person like I have a working relationship with, we close, or we broke bread together and we got something. Like if Trizza hit me like, yo, I need stamps, what's up? I'm not gonna be like, oh bro, what's up with the I know we straight. We good money. But like other people, especially if you somebody's manager or whatever, man, you can kick rocks. You can get the fuck off my phone until you send me what I asked for. I already don't have it.
Right. And it's not like they're gonna send a check ASAP when it's time to pay. I just go slow and steady.
Everything you need magically comes slow as molasses, but everything coming from you is supposed to come at the speed of a bullet. No, sir. No, sir. Old school rules.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was just interesting though. Mm-hmm. I had to think about it. Yeah, difficult to work with. Yes, sir.
That's fair.
Yeah. Let me see what people saying. Anybody saying anything?
Slim Trill says, "Me, I needed to hear this." That's what's up. All right.
Yeah, manufacturer urgency. I love that. Yeah, I need to hear that. That's real. Man, it's real. Only the funk. Shout out for buying that badge. I appreciate it.
Hey, appreciate you.
Yeah.
Okay, so Slim Trill says, do producers have or need a personal or business manager?
If you got something to manage, yes.
Yeah.
Yep. If you got some type of business going on.
You've never been the management person, but it's been a time where I had a business manager and a manager at the same time.
Yeah.
And stuff, I mean, but the time's required for it. You know what I mean? I was doing a lot of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Always good. I say even though I've never had a manager, I say if you need a manager and you get a good one, I mean, I think it's dope to have a good manager. I just never came across a good management fit for myself, or I would always be in situations where I didn't have a manager and I'm like, well, I don't figure this out, and then figured it out.
Right.
You know, but yeah, shout out to all the good managers out there, man, for sure.
Yeah. I feel like it's one of those things. A great manager can take you far, and a bad manager can hurt you. So just be careful. You know what I mean? Just like you gotta balance. Just make sure, just like how Oracle's talking about the accountability, and like, all right, if you put this urgency on me, I should be able to do the same with you. All these managers be like, all right, I need this amount of beats, or I need this from you. You should be like, hey, I need these opportunities. I need these phone calls. I'm trying to reach these people, and they should be able to do that for you. The same effort that you putting towards getting stuff to it. So long as you keep that in mind, you know.
Yeah. Man, and this is a cool topic, especially if you're younger in this audience and you listen to this. You might not have gone through this yet, but when I first started going through that type of thing, I was very young. So I was a kid dealing with grown men.
Right.
And that made me mentally put myself down here. Versus they're in the industry, I don't know anything really about the industry. I'm a kid. This is a grown ass man. Now I'm a grown man dealing with grown men, and I realized even as a kid, I should have dealt with it this way. I mean, it just comes with getting older. So saying all that to say, if you're younger and you go through that situation, just know you have every right to ask for what you want within reason, and you have even more of a right to reiterate what was already discussed at a pivotal point.
Yes.
And if anyone has a problem with you bringing up stuff that was already agreed upon, run, because they gonna get you. They're gonna finesse the shit out of you. Yes, sir.
Slim Trill says, how did those services work out for you, Trissa? Man, I'm not mad. I mean, business manager, I feel like now I've changed because of other businesses and stuff like that. So I've changed how I did a lot of the financial stuff. So that was one of the reasons why I stopped dealing with that. And manager wise, it was great. Like, I met so many people that I would have never met. I got so many opportunities I would have never got. Just because having a manager and their relationships with other people kind of, open the door for me to get cool and be around a bunch of people and experience like a bunch of crazy stuff. So it's been great. And I've also had the bad side of it years ago where it's like, it kind of hindered my career in a way of, being around certain people and all that. So like I said, just be careful, but if you find the right person that can like build with you and understand, and they don't even necessarily have to me, be connected. I would take somebody who is hungrier and not as connected than somebody who's super, super connected, but I'm at the bottom of the list,
Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very good point. Could you say that point one more time, bro?
Because like, I feel like everybody thinks of like, oh, I need to get a manager and I need to get Scooter Braun. And it's like, if you did get Scooter Braun, you're going to be at the bottom of the list, bro. Because you know what I'm saying? Just how it is. He got Bieber, he got Kanye, he got all these other people, right? And it's going to be like that when you go to any of these companies. You got to make yourself a priority, which I don't feel like, unless you just got something incredible to happen, you're not going to be that. So you got to work your way up. And, I'd rather grow with somebody and like figure it out than to just try to shoot all the way to the top and get the biggest manager is,
Got you. Good point. Let's see real quick. Only the Funk says I could blame myself in the past because my creative mind was overthinking it and I held projects up. Now I work through it. Great now. Yeah. Okay. Bet.
Facts. Let's see.
What else we got in the chat?
Is it possible? Hold on. I'll come back to that one. Let's see. Okay, so what are your top 3 qualities you look for in a manager or someone who's connected? Man, a manager is like an extension. It's like you're hiring like somebody for your company. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like if you're hiring for any other role, like a man. I mean, people don't think of a manager like a store manager, but it's similar things. Somebody's looking after this business, right? And they're keeping tabs of certain stuff and making certain stuff happen and outsourcing whatever they need to. So the same qualities of being reliable, somebody you could pick up the phone and like actually like, reach. Because I've been in situations where I can't get the person on the phone.
Right.
So it's like, it's pointless, bro. Like, why do I have this agreement with you if I can't talk to you? So, it's all those little things of like communication, people being open to like new ideas. Like, so say if you want to go DJ, I'm just making up something like, or you want to be like, all right, I'm gonna drop an NFT, like if that's what you want to do, that person should be like, all right, cool. I might not get it, but like, let's go try to do this. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's figure it out. I feel like that's like good qualities of somebody I would look for. Not necessarily like super connected all the time, but just like, yo, we're gonna figure this out. The same determination I'm gonna have with getting to where I need to go. If someone has that business wise, it'll be great.
Yeah, you're right. I would say hunger, accessibility, and strategy. So yeah, those would be the 3 things. You like you said, you got to be hungry because hunger sometimes will trump being connected.
Right.
You know what I mean? And accessibility, you also pointed out, I got to be able to get you on the phone at all times, anytime, or most of the time. And strategy is like, you could be as hungry as you want, but if you're reaching out to people and you don't really have a plan or you don't really have strategies or you don't really know the prices and all that type of stuff, then the other 2 are kind of pointless. So yeah, hunger, accessibility, strategy for sure.
Mayos also says trust, which is a great one.
Big one. Air horn for that, man.
Young Ponzu, what up, bro?
Hanzu, what's the word?
Han Solo Music, appreciate it, man. Okay, so Smoking Aces says, how do you go about asking for payment for beats from artists you gave free beats to in the past? Oh, bro.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying. So they were used to getting it for the free ski, but for whatever reason, either now you have to start charging, or this particular instance is going to charge. Look, man, what I found out after different strategies and just being a different person over the years, like I said, I'm at the point now where I just bring it up matter of factly. I'm very much of the mindset or the point in my life where I'm like, yo, I can ask you some shit like this because you've asked me something like this, or I can discuss things like this to you, or even impose this new price on you, not like harshly, but this is my business.
Sure.
This is my, pay it or don't. And you don't have to be like brash about it like I'm being right now, but I just found that in life, just being transparent and very matter of fact is going to get you. Like, for instance, in your instance, the person's been getting beats for free, and like, oh yeah, bet. Let me get this beat right here. Like, you know what? For sure, I don't have a problem with that. However, this is going to be a little different. This one's going to cost. It's going to cost a little bread. You know what I mean? If you're cool with it, I can continue. If not, then I'm gonna turn the shit off. And like I said, you can keep it on the up and up, especially if that's your man or whatever. But just be very matter of fact. No need to dress it up and put a whole bunch of salt and sugar and extra words and shit on it. And people will respect, or at least should respect, transparency. When you're transparent with somebody in a respectable way, I've just found, after trying many ways of communicating over my life, that's just the style for me. It's just the style for me. And then you open yourself up to be transparent and matter of fact with that person forever. And now that's a whole freedom when dealing with certain people. You don't have to dress shit up. You could just be like, oh no, he gonna tell me like it is.
That's facts. Yeah, man, you need that raw ass on that music, bro. Can't be getting it for free.
Yeah, that's a fact. Like, hey, things change, and you can bitch and complain and be mad all you want, but at the end of the day, I don't know, man. It's only like this much stuff you could care about, and that shit is just outside of the boundaries. Yep.
Okay, Oracle, I got a question for you. Okay. This person, I would say your name, but I'm gonna butcher it. They just said, "What's the drum library to do trap?" So, Oracle, what would you recommend?
Hold on, someone. Like trick question. Hold on. All right, I'm gonna try to get this right. Been trapping 6.
Yes, sir.
Listen, on the real though, we just came out with Ben Trapping 6 about 2 weeks ago. We've sold hundreds and hundreds of copies, approaching. We're looking to sell tens and tens of thousands.
It's going crazy.
The feedback on it has been super crazy, and then I listened to it, and definitively, it's in my top 2 go-to trap libraries. The other one being Ben Trapping 4 for some reason. But yeah, it's the move. If you haven't checked it out, man, check out Ben Trapping 6 by Young Trizza and Young Sound Oracle. And it also comes with a super dope ebook, man. You want to talk about the ebook?
Oh man. So we took a bunch of tips that we talk about and just use on a daily to be productive and stay focused as producers. Cause that's something that a lot of people don't talk about. It's like, how do you get as many things done? How do you stay focused and how do you reach your goals? So we put together an ebook. You get it for free when you get Ben Trapping 6. And that's the only way right now that you can even get the book. So
that's a fact. It's not sold. It's not given. There's nowhere else but with Ben Trapping 6.
Facts.
So, yes, sir. Great question though. Smoking Aces said, going back to the manager things, it got to be like E on Entourage. Yeah, E was a good manager.
No, E was the realest, dog. And he was the homie. Bro. He wasn't some big, you know what I mean?
He had the hustle, he had the hunger, and then he became the dude.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And he would always stick up, you know what I mean, for Vince. You know what I mean? He would be like, no, that's not right. You know what I mean? That's what you need in your corner, bro. You know, Ari was great, but Ari wouldn't pick up the phone sometimes. You'd be talking to Lloyd. You know what I mean? There's so many.
Ari was a scumbag. He's one of the people, if he was a scumbag that was on your side, you were doing all right. But he was a scumbag, bro.
And then when Ari had beef, that means Vince had beef. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it would cut them off. Come on, man. I could do a whole Entourage talk, bro. I had a part of my life where I did nothing but watch Entourage.
I agree.
I can damn near tell you what episode. If I see it, I could be like, oh, that's about season 4, episode 5. You know what I mean? Somewhere in that range.
What's that? Turtles come up? That's a little late on in the game. Turtle came up, man.
Oh man, shout out to young Avion. Okay. Fiction says, weird question, but in the music world, who approaches whom about collaborating? Do artists ask producers or do producers ask artists?
School dance dilemma. Yo, honestly, both. I've seen both. Like almost on a 50-50. Well, actually, no. I take that back. I see more artists approach producers about collabing.
I don't know, bro. Because let me be in a networking event. I'm hawking. I'm over here like, oh, that looks like such and such. I'm on Instagram.
Now that's you. I'm talking about what I've seen.
Okay.
Mostly. I mostly see artists because artists hear beats and they're like, yo, oh man, let me get that beat. Oh, you're dope. I want to work with you. I don't know. I just feel like artists are come across beats more. I don't know. I don't really know how I'm trying to say it, but I just see it that way more often than not.
Damn, man. I don't know, bro. Maybe I'm just around some snipers, dog. But everybody I know, they will pull up on somebody. Like we see an artist and we ain't working with them. Like, hey, man. Hey, just want to love the music. You know what I mean? What's the best way to give you some beats? But, I think it's about 50-50, man. I think it's a 50-50. I mean, there ain't really no rules. Hey, man, everybody trying to get to the same goal, and that's make a hit song or something that people gonna love. You know what I mean? So,
yes, sir.
Man, I'm shooting shots.
Let's see. Wow, we talked about that.
Young Prentice, appreciate the badge, man.
Oh man, come on, Prentice.
Yes, sir.
So I have a topic, man, and this is a deep one. It's not necessarily dark. It's kind of dark in tone, but it's a deep topic.
Oh man.
When, and I don't even know how to word this right. When is the time to give up? Because we're in a culture where, no sleep and grind all day and, don't stop till you accomplish your goals. And we all live by that. There's a very competitive culture. So that's like the mantra. That's the general attitude. However, we all know at least one person who you look at them and you're like, yo, you should really quit that shit. And hold on now, and now this is not all to get to get on and make other people the butt of jokes because it's gonna flip around in a minute. But like we all know that person, like, dog, you've been singing for 10 years. You've heard singing before. And then you know what you sound like. And for some reason, you're like, no, on my way, buddy. Yeah. I'm still on my way. And you're like, yeah. So one of the questions I have is, why don't people like that know it's probably a good time to quit? Or even that they're not good at something?
I think they're not self-aware, bro. Because right. I know the guy, it's so funny when you brought this up. I know this person, right? And they've been making the same beat. They've been making beats almost as long as I have. Talk hella cash money shit about all kinds of stuff about production. But since then, sounds the exact same. It has never gotten better, but it's consistently. But I think it's a part of not being, your surroundings not changing. Because I don't think originally I was good at making beats, right? It wasn't I just enjoyed it, right? It wasn't like I was great though. I was like, cool, you know what I mean? But I think me being around, like, get to see like B Cox and I'm around him, and then I'm around Cape, all these people that I got to learn from, I start picking up so much stuff so much quicker, you know what I mean? That I feel like that's when I got good, is when I was around other people that was better than me. And I feel like, some people just kind of stuck in their way and don't want to be around. Like, I like being not the best person in the room. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoy that. Like, to me, that's when I'm excited. Is like, yo, everybody in here is smarter than me. Let me try to learn as much as possible, And I think some people like it the opposite way, where they're the
the brightest person in the room.
Yeah.
And that's not always the greatest.
Yeah, I have to agree with you. By the way, Fictionalized said stop looking at me, LOL. So she's saying the shoe fits to her in her mind of her. But I happen to know, Fictionalized, that's your general outlook, because a lot of us are very critical on ourselves. But I'm not going to talk about that right now. Okay, so self-awareness, number one. Yeah, a lot of people don't have any self-awareness. Number two, how I'm trying to figure out how to put this. Okay, the saying is a winner never quits. I thought about that in reference to this. I don't think that's true in reference to that. I think winners somewhere along the line have quit doing something a certain way and switched to another way, and that's how they won. So that points at people who will keep trying with a bad strategy. They don't know when to quit. I think that's a good time to quit. And if like I said, if you've been doing something 10 years, however many, and you just really consistent, and you just really suck at it, that might be the time to quit. But then my last and final question about this, how do you cope with quitting? Because personally, I've never tried anything in my life that I really, really, really wanted to get down, and tried it like consistently, and was just so bad at it that I'm like, damn, dog, I'm gonna have to stop trying this or figure something else out. I haven't had that experience, which means I probably need to try different shit or more things that I have a possibility of failing at. I think I just try safe stuff. But like, how do you cope with that? Like, how does that feel, or what do you do if you have the self-awareness to be like, damn, I really suck at this and I should really stop? Like, does that demotivate you as a person? Or
but I think that's what separates because I feel like, bro, if someone gives me like, oh, this isn't it, like, I've been working on something, I'll send it to a bunch of people. Some people's like, yeah, it's great. Some people's like, no, I don't like it, right? It doesn't hurt my feelings at all. I'm looking for this, like, I want that. Like, this is what I'm trying to get across. I want somebody to disagree or give me a different perspective, right? But I feel like some people can't take it, and that's where everything falls apart. You get what I'm saying? If you're
100%,
to me, if you're bad but you understand it, I had to do this to get better, then it's keep doing your thing. But if you're bad and then you're not willing to do the little extra, or you can't take the criticism, that's when I feel like everything falls apart.
True. And that goes back to the earlier topic of when I was saying, be frank and matter of fact, but yet respectful with people. And like Trizza was just saying, like, if he asked certain people when it comes to a certain thing and they be like, no, because X, Y, and Z, like, that's being matter of fact. And Trizza's like, no, I need that. I like that. And as people, we generally need that, but we just don't communicate with each other like that. And that's crazy. But yeah, so I don't know. I was having a conversation and just got on the topic of giving up, because we're in a culture, no one ever talks about quitting. No one ever talks about giving up anything. It's like, nah, man, keep going. Sometimes you could look around your life. There's some shit you need to quit. It's just some things you need to give up. You're not good at it. For some people, it could be being a certain type of person in a relationship. It could be anything. But I do think the faster you get self-realization and realize that it's okay to quit certain things that are detrimental, then you can start winning. Because you maybe start pursuing those things with a different strategy, or just start pursuing different things, and that's how you win. So the term winners never quit, debunked right here on UnQuantized podcast, because I believe winners quit doing things that don't work.
No, that's real.
And if you're doing something that is not working right now, and you've been doing it, and ain't been working, maybe it's time to quit. Maybe not time to quit your whole career, but it's time to quit that specific strategy or that specific thing and do something else.
Oh, and real quick, so I will say this helped me a lot, bro, is between you and then my homeboy Matty J, both of y'all document everything, right? So when something bad happens, I document it. and it just like some good. So I have a like now I kind of know like, oh, this worked. You know what I mean? Let me go back and try this again.
Yes,
and then
sir.
something bad happened. I'm like, all right, I got to figure out how to avoid this. You know what I mean? So
yes, sir.
And I mean, it seems like simple, but I mean, a lot of times you forget about stuff that worked and then you won't go back to it. Or you'll forget about like, oh, I kind of messed this up this last time. You know,
that's a very good point.
And having a clear point of reference, like, okay, last time I did this, this, and this is what happened. Now it's like, all right, when you go to do it, it's like, all right, cool. Now, next time I'm gonna try it this way. And I feel like that's how you get better. You know, it just constant tweaks of just like trying different stuff and like, okay, that didn't work. Let me move this way, you know?
Yes. And documenting stuff, man.
Document
you got it 100% right. When I do like if I'm making drums, making loops, just making sounds or whatever, I got certain templates for certain things I'm doing, right? So it was so many years that I would do something and then I would do something. I would do that thing again, maybe a year later, like another product, and I would totally forget how I did it or the things I did to do it previously and spend like a week trying to just recreate it. And now in Ableton, it's a Notepad Max for Live device. It's a whole bunch of them. And I just put notes on each track, on the whole project, like, oh, use this, use that setting. Oh, the one that you like, it was this, that, and the third. So then when I went back last time, I'm like, I forgot all about that. Yes, do that, do this, do that. Yeah, write it down for sure.
Let's see. Okay, let's get to some of these questions. Let's see. That's the key. Find out what works and what doesn't. No, that's big facts, bro. Smoking Aces says, I had to quit music for 3 years, but came back to it, changed my approach and sound, and I'm doing better than before. I don't. Would you say that it's just like a break?
Hold on, one more time. Give me that statement one more time. His joint.
He says, I had to quit music for 3 years, but came back to it, changed my approach, sound, and I'm doing better than before.
You know what? Okay. Yes, you're right. That is a break. But I think going into it, the mindset was, fuck this shit, I quit.
That makes sense.
Then after a certain amount of time, like maybe you'll get back to it. So I can see you being like, I quit because you did mean it at the time.
That makes sense.
But you know, you saw music out wearing a nice little sundress somewhere, and he was like, you know what? I should give that another chance.
Hey, you.
Yeah, he's sounding good over there.
Yeah, no, that's real.
Yeah,
and I mean, and the good thing is those breaks, like I've talked about this a lot. The last year, I want to say last year was probably the least amount of beats I've made in my life. Like, wow, like bro, I'm used to making 5-6 beats a day every day, at least 6 days a week, all day. And that's what I do. Just go to the studio. And this past last year, I barely made beats, bro. It was like, right, I had a month this month where I made more beats than I did in like 2-3 months last year. You know what I'm saying? And but that all that time, bro, I was working on business stuff, and then I just had time to sit and like, okay, I didn't like how I did this with my career. I didn't like this. I didn't like this. So now it's like when I'm doing stuff, it's like, oh, now I'm more intentional with it. And I feel like I wouldn't have thought like this if I didn't sit back and be like, oh, okay, I need to change this, do this. Because sometimes you can just get caught up in doing the like every day, like, all right, I'm going to studio making beats. I'm going to studio making beats. You don't have time to sit back and think like, oh, maybe I should try doing this. And then this is working. So I'm gonna start communicating on Instagram more and doing this. And now it's like, okay, cool. I feel like I could get further in a little bit easier, you know, than what I've been doing.
Yes, sir. All gems, Slim.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, people rocking with this topic though.
Oh yeah, it's a great topic. That's great.
Let's see. Zulu Child said something that I thought was pretty dope. He said, Oracle, this might be one of the best topics today, and that's saying something. Shout out to you for saying that about this show. Because you know, we talk about some stuff, but I do think sometimes we just have to talk about higher level stuff. No, we know how to get the 808s to bang, but like how the hell do you quit something? How the hell do you know when it's time to quit? Like fuck them 808s, like this is real life, right?
Right.
I also think though a great time to quit something or to quit a way is when it becomes detrimental to your goals. That's the reason why you gotta have a reason why. Oh, killed it. That's the reason why you gotta have a reason why. Come on, man. I almost said, but I almost got to my Swiss. But yeah,
the
because
poison with the poisons.
Listen, man, we're getting poised in a zone right now. Poised in a zone. But yeah, like if you know why, which is synonymous with having a goal, if you know why you're doing something, then you could identify faster when things become detrimental to whatever it is that you're trying to do. And that is a great time to quit something.
Yeah.
Like, nah, this it ain't work. It's killing. Oh, another thing too. I'm just all over the place with this topic. When I say becomes detrimental to your goal, that is very subjective, because to what one person may find detrimental or destructive, another person just calls sacrifice. You know what I mean? Right, so it just really depends on how you're made, how long you've been doing this, or or whatever. But whatever your term of like, okay, this shit ain't working and it's really starting to cause problems here.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, I haven't sold a beat and I haven't seen my son in 3 months. Because you know what I'm saying? Like that's an obvious, like, detrimental type of thing. So just check in with yourself, man. But the more you know why you're doing what you're doing, the quicker you know what to quit or to change.
And bro, and so I'm so guilty of it, right? It's like, even this, I told you I've been feeling off like the past like couple of days, well, a couple of weeks really now. But I noticed I have days where it's like I could get by and it's like I could do a couple things if my day is complete and everything feels great. I'm not stressed out. And then I have days where I feel like everything's a mess. And the common thing is that I'm not organized with, like, I'm so used to my to-do list and organizing my weeks and days. If I get off on that, it feels like my whole everything gets off. And I think how people mess up, bro, is everybody only does their goals around New Year's. And then it's never like a time where you come back to that, right? Because I've had goals to do certain stuff and then they change, or I hit the goal and then I don't have the next step to go to the next place. You get what I'm saying? So it's like I kind of just get stagnant for a while. So it's like now I try to go every so often. Like, honestly, I try to do it every week, but I mean, I ain't gonna say like I do it every time. But every week I try to go through and like, all right, cool, this is the goal. How am I doing on this? And it kind of gets me readjusted. Like, all right, I need to focus back, do all this stuff. And when I get back, like now, all I'm doing, bro, all I've been doing this week is just planning. Like, all right, cool. This is when this is gonna go. When I get back right, I'm gonna do this. This is how this is gonna go. So now I got a action plan. And then as soon as I'm back right, mentally ready to work and go crazy,
you know what to do. You got the blueprint.
I'm there,
Great time to make a blueprint, man. When you down or just, on that vacation, that burn vacation, that burncation, great time to strategize.
Facts.
Great time. Yeah.
Let's see. Mayo said getting in personal development now. That's when the key to success. Yes, sir. And I feel like I saw some content from you, my brother.
What did you say?
My homie Mayo. I feel like he been putting up some content. I feel like he getting into the content game. So
shout out to Mayo, man.
Yeah.
Once again.
Let's see. Ask yourself, did you really try hard? Did you do all that you could do? That is a good.
Yeah. Now that is good self-assessment. And that also helps you know or feel better or some more definitive quit when you quit something. Because like if you notice in every example I gave, I'm like, you tried for X amount of times, decent amount of time, and you really did it. Like you was really like me wanting to be in the NBA back in the day. But if I get on the court and I practice every day, 10 hours a day for 10 years, and I'm still airballing, Slim, it's time to quit.
Yeah.
It's time to quit. But I know I gave it my all. So the decision to quit didn't turn into maybe I just need to practice more.
Right, exactly.
I've done more. There's no more time in my life for this, and I'm just not good at it. That's why I say if you go hard with your reason why and you do everything that you know you're supposed to be doing, it makes it easier to be like, all right, maybe it's time for me to stop this and do something else.
And what Prentice said when he was asking those like questions that you ask yourself, bro, this is the most. So, okay, during the whole quarantine, right? I've been trying to gain weight. If you know me, you know I've been trying to gain weight. I've always been like a smaller person, right? I've been trying to gain weight. I finally get to my weight where I'm at. The issue is I ran out of clothes, right? I have no clothes. So I'm like, all right, I just been buying clothes. So I've been like studying, like looking at stuff again and like, all right, just like trying to understand, but whatever I'm doing at the time, I like just watch nothing but that, right? So I'm watching some random like fashion video, right, about like clothes, and the dude had these 4 questions that he says before you buy anything, ask yourself these 4 questions about every piece, right? And it's like, do I already have something like this? Will I regret this in a year or two, right? Like, does this go with everything else? And bro, I use that while making beats. Now those questions of like, do I have something in this like this range? You know what I'm saying? Do I, and I go through this list, and it's just like it made me think about like, how these little simple questions that you could just like keep for yourself can keep you such in check, and just memorizing, like certain little checklists, and it'll keep just everything in check.
Life strategies, man. Those are just good like life hacks. Yes, sir.
Facts.
Yeah, when I'm making beats too, I'll be like, yo, do I got anything? I got any shoes to go with this beat? Nah, just joking. But that's super dope, actually. I gotta check that out.
I knew it was one of those random things, but I was like, that it as soon as I heard it, it made me think about like, oh, I could use this for production. You know what I mean?
That's a gem, man. That is a gem. Also, taking stuff from one thing and applying it to another field. We always talk about that. Just want to shout out that was an example, a great example of it right there.
Let's see. Dub P17 says, I feel terribly unproductive now that I change gears and can't be creative as much, but I know it's all investment. Sometimes you just gotta make the best of whatever wave is at the time. You know what I mean? Because
playing your comeback, or just sometimes you got to shift gears. A lot of times too, it could be a blessing. Somebody in here was just talking about how they took time off and they came back better than ever. You know what I mean? But sometimes during that time off, you'll feel terrible. Sometimes you got to move. I know a lot of people that have studios and for whatever reason had to move back in with their family or move to a smaller place, and they couldn't take all their stuff with them or whatever. And they felt horrible, but they gained new skills in that time based off the limitations. You know what I mean? So, quitting has its benefits.
Let's see. How important is it to talk about your problems with at least teammates to maintain productivity in your business?
100%. You gotta have those people. Now, be strategic about who those people are. You can't talk about shit like that with everybody, but you gotta have that. If it's a colleague that does the same thing that you do, and you got that bond, you can talk about it. That's the best scenario. Like, I can call Trizza, like, I mean, shit, we're doing it here. We're talking about being burnt out or having burnout. Like right now, like this is no different than an average conversation that Triz and I would have on the phone. But sometimes that person might not even be in your field. But it's cooler to go with a friend that you could trust to be that vulnerable with than versus just someone in your field that you might not know that well.
Right.
That's just my personal opinion, because when you're vulnerable, it can come back to haunt you. So just watch who you're vulnerable with.
Thanks. Let's see. Produced by Tilo says, what are some good tips for new producers as far as posting on social media?
I feel like we get this question every week, bro. You know what? Call Peter, because I'm about to beat this dead horse. Consistency.
Not BoJack.
That's right, BoJack Horseman. Man, listen, consistency. When it comes to posting on, the two tips, and these are 2 gems, but these are 2 gems that we've talked about for the last 3 or 4 weeks, so I'm not gonna go crazy on them. Consistency, and schedule your post using something like later.com. Like, schedule your posts ahead of time, because in this day and age, if every time you post on Instagram, you're doing it in real time, you just jumping on there and doing it, I'm willing to bet that either A, you don't post enough, or B, you simply don't post enough. Because I hated that feeling, bro. I hated that feeling. I mean, even going back, we would do our beat making videos and we would have fun making the video, but it's just like posting it, writing the caption, doing all that shit right then and there. I just never have a good feeling doing that. But like scheduling things in advance, out of here.
Yeah, bro. You know, it's wild. Is I be doing stuff and I'll take pictures, and then I'll be so in the moment I forget to post it. So it's like if I don't schedule stuff, it won't get. It just stays on my phone, bro. Because it's like I be so caught up in the moment and doing different stuff that I'm not thinking about. Oh, let me sit down and post this and write this caption. And I got to get better about it. And I feel like it's something with like younger kids. They all grow up with the phone. It's their natural instinct to record themselves, and I don't have that. I don't have that, bro. Like my natural instinct is to record other people. You know what I'm saying? It's not to record myself and put all this stuff out. Like it's just you know, but it's something that I got to get over with myself and just like be even more aggressive than what I am with it, you know. But
yeah, bro, hold on. Let me do a time check because this might be another good topic. But how long were we on before? You remember?
I think we got a little time.
All right, bet. Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say now. you just brought up a good topic. Dan, what were you talking about?
Oh, snap. And now I forgot. Anyway, okay.
No.
Let's see. Early J Dilla beat tape restored by Mad Skills features rare instruments.
Okay, facts.
I'm excited. Hey, you can't go wrong with Dilla. You know what I mean?
Nah, not at all, bro.
The more Dilla songs, the better.
Not at all.
Let's see.
Anyway, okay. Damn, I wish I could remember what I was talking about. Or what we were talking about. Oh, we actually had some other questions too. Right, we could answer a couple of these and then get up out of here.
All right, cool.
Yeah. What is the difference between leveling and mixing? Leveling is really leveling or gain staging is turning the volume up and down on certain things, which I believe if you can get a decent mix with just leveling, you're halfway there.
Oh yeah.
But mixing is other things. In addition to leveling, you have, EQ, compression, reverb, different effects, and just various other things. So yeah, leveling is a part of mixing. Mixing is not only leveling.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
My man.
Let's see. What's the longest it take to mix and master a beat? How long does it take you now?
Like couple days, because I sent it to my dope engineer, Realistic, and he'd be like, "Yo, get this back to you in a couple days." Because I don't mix my own stuff like that.
Oh, gotcha.
The same way that I love, I'm a foodie. I love food, but I have no desire to become a chef.
That's real. Yeah, Keith the Beef. What up, bro?
Happy he's in here.
Happy birthday, my guy. Shout out to Keith.
Oh man, happy birthday, bro.
Keith is A&R extraordinaire. Has helped all of the producer power summits that we put together.
Yes, indeed.
He's been the plug.
One of the realest people you'll ever meet.
Man, put me onto a lot of game. Shout out to my dog Keith. Let's see. Man. Is it possible to be great at sound designing, but then terrible at mixing?
100%.
Very.
Oh man, 100%. I'm willing to bet. Most sound designers aren't good at mixing, but yeah, sound design is a very creative, free for all. At least the way I think of sound design, no holds barred, do what you like. Levels and stuff just going to be flying everywhere. Mixing is when you come back and you tame all that and you get it together. The person that can easily make the mess is not necessarily the best person when it comes to cleaning it up. Right. Sometimes you got to be the person to clean it up, but you're not necessarily the best. So I think it's very commonplace for you to be great at sound design and horrible at mixing.
Bro, my life got so much easier when I just said, I'm going to get my mixes to sound good. I'm going to do as best I can, and I'm going to get them sounding good. And then I leave all the other stuff to the engineer, and my life got so much better.
There you go. Get it as good as you need, as good as you possibly can get it. But I don't encourage everybody to just sign up to Everest College to now all of a sudden learn how to be a engineer.
Thanks.
You got to learn how to delegate in life. it's cool to know a lot and to be able to do a lot, but you will waste a whole bunch of time if you try to become a master of everything, especially if you just have to do something one time or infrequently. For you to sit and take a whole bunch of time to become a master of it, to do it one time is fruitless when you could have just delegated or outsourced it.
Thanks.
You know, and sometimes delegation comes with a price, but it could also come with bartering. You know what I mean?
Right.
And that will, if anything, it'll keep you sharp and learn. It teach you how to be resourceful and teach you how to bargain with people. But listen, like I said, if every time you wanted to eat a meal, if you had to become a farmer and grow it, you wouldn't get much done. And I feel the same way about things like becoming like the most awesome engineer in the world and all of that stuff. When you really just want your beats mixed well, give them to an engineer, man.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Just give them to an engineer.
Letter L said, Letter L, what up, bro? He says, I feel like I couldn't really sound design until I learned how to mix better.
Okay, so they went hand in hand for you. Okay.
A little too toxic. It says, I need help. What's the question, my dog?
Facts.
Let's see. Slim Trill says, so how do placements work towards a producer having a mixing engineer with him or her?
I want to make sure I understand that.
So I guess if, like, say you're getting somebody to mix your records, how does that work? Like, say you get a placement, right?
Well, okay.
Well, okay. So what I was gonna say is sometimes it's a few situations. A lot of times people just pay for the service, like upfront, work for hire. Some people have like a relationship with the engineer, and then that engineer, they agree, like, all right, I'm gonna give the engineer 5% of publishing, right, on these records, right? And then you just do them in there like that. You know what I mean? Because sometimes a lot of these engineers are touching every record. They're mixing. Sometimes the producer just make the beat, and then they go through and they like beef up all the drums, do all that stuff. So it's like, yo, I mean,
sequence it,
bro. They deserve some bread. You know what I mean? They deserve it, man. They put in work. So, you know,
100%. Yeah, no, that's all you right there. No need for me to even get into that answer.
And then he says, does the engineer name go on the placement also? That's what I meant. So yeah, sometimes they do get like almost like a production credit or like additional drums.
But now, if you're the producer, okay, so I wasn't gonna get into it, but if you're the producer and you have an engineer, did this engineer mix your beat, or are they mixing the record? Like they get placed with the artist on it? Because those are two different things.
Right. You know,
now if they're, because I feel like, okay, if you submitted the joint and they're like, all right, we want this beat. Most of the time, the artist or whatever label picks the beat, they have engineers. They know where it's going to be mixed. So for them to come back to you, like, great, now can you, once we do the song, can you mix it? Man, of course. Like, yeah, now your engineer is 100% in there. But now if they mixed your beat and you submitted it and the beat got placed, then no. Because it's going to end up getting mixed again by somebody else anyway.
Yeah, that's a good point. Because like the way I'm talking about it is only like my homie, right? We had a studio, and every artist that would come, all the demos, he would cut the demos. You know, he's all the beats he's going through and mixing. He's mixing all the songs. He's part of the team, right? He's like, it's not just like, just do this. Every day we're interacting, we're working, we're, you know, all working towards the same goal. So for me, it made sense. Like, if I get something, you get a piece of this publishing, because, you know, like, it's not just like a one-time thing. And if I had to pay him every time,
you would rack up.
Yeah, I would rack up. So it's like, for me, it's like it's got to be some kind of benefit, you know, for that person. You know what I mean? Like, so I was bringing him in like customers. We call them the brown paper bags. You know what I mean? Like, I would get him like a bunch of customers to come into a studio, and then he would also get publishing. And, you know, we helped each other out. And that's how you kind of got to do it. So if you're working with one engineer consistently and y'all doing a lot of stuff, to me, that makes sense. But if you're just trying to, you know, get the one-offs, I don't know if many people are going to be like, yeah, I'll take publishing.
Facts.
Yeah.
Facts. Yeah, mixing whole songs, yeah, but mixing a beat, no.
Mayo says, do you have other people schedule your posts, spouse, friends, assistants, or is that a job we should take as brand company owners? That's a good question.
Yes and yes. It was something I know I did in real time all the time. And then I started, actually, Triz and I think we got put onto the joint at the same time. And then we started scheduling posts ourselves. And then I finally got somebody on my team to actually do it for me. Someone I trust, for sure.
That makes sense. Yeah, I'm trying to outsource more. I'm trying to get a lot done. I'm telling you, music production is so difficult, bro. With anything with writing or social media, you know, it's like it's difficult to find somebody in that space because you got to get somebody who actually knows what they're talking about. Because if you just hire somebody, you know, the captions is gonna be off. It's gonna be, you know,
the person has to know the culture.
Yeah,
they can't even just simply know music. Because like, think about it. Even if the person that did stuff for you, if they were like into soft rock from the 80s, they're not gonna get the lingo. They're not even gonna know what's happening. So stuff like that is really hard to delegate.
Yeah, some of the stuff I've managed to like delegate, like some of the podcast stuff, but like when it comes to like memes and stuff like that, like I don't know how to get that. I can't just get that because the captions got to be right. You know what I mean? So it's just like it's a whole thing, man. So you know, still working on it, still trying to figure that part out.
Yeah, facts. Fire. Speaking of which, I this is not in my notes, but I feel like I'm gonna get text about this. If there's anyone in this chat, in this community that wants to take on a small task for soundoracle.net, let me know. It's actually social media related. It's finding a specific type of content and screenshotting it and sending it over. It's as simple as that. So if anyone is interested in that, I can get you more details after the show. Just DM me and let me know.
Yeah, okay. MacGyver, bro.
Is he wilding?
No, he keeps it real though. He keeps it real. No, it just caught me off guard. So okay. Little Tutok says, I got a studio in Houston, but I need Wi-Fi. I need big features like Roddy Ricch. Am I too old to rap? I'm 32.
Wait.
Basically, so if you need all of that, then it's not the too old. It's you need to learn more about how this works and not features like Roddy Ricch, because that's not gonna, unless you got $200,000 just sitting.
Yeah.
And then MacGyver says, are you old enough to look for fame at 32 by rapping? Then yes. But you're never too old to rap. That's facts.
No, you're never too old to rap. I wanted to say you could be too old to be taken seriously as a rapper. But no, you're never too old to do almost anything.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But
yeah. But I don't think so. I don't think you're too old. Wait. Say something? Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
There you go.
Yeah, accidentally unplugged. Okay, let's see. Just B Man No DJ says, how do you feel about the MPC one?
I like it. I really like it. I don't use it as much as I want, as much as I feel like I should. But I like it because it has an MPC sequencer, of course. The size is dope, even though it's not truly portable because you do have to plug it up. And it has more dedicated buttons than the average newer MPC, which was what all the other ones minus the REN. All the other ones minus the REN were missing dedicated buttons. They got to that touchscreen shit and they started taking too many buttons away. And I don't know about you. Just like doing certain things on a touchscreen, Triz, as we talked about, note repeat, stuff like that on a touchscreen is just not the wave. So I think the MPC one is a dope. It's one of the dopest alternatives I've found in a trifecta of being an MPC, having all the dedicated buttons, and having a portable form factor.
Facts.
Yeah.
Avbrow says, I'm teaching one of my students beat production and Logic. He knows the software pretty good. What are some suggestions you would give to young kids in beat production? He likes XXX Tentacion beats.
He could do an exercise to recreate.
Yeah.
Recreate a XXX beat. That'd be like a fun exercise, and it's paying a bit of homage. So I think that would be dope.
Yeah, man. that tells the time. But Scott Storch
was like the biggest thing production wise, and you know how many Scott Storch reenactment and recreations I done made in my life, bro. Trying to get the pitch bend right, you know what I mean? Yeah, the left hand, man. You had to, the pitch bend don't come easy, man. You got to practice the little, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? So,
hey, go through, recreate your favorite joints, try to, remake them as close as possible. To me,
there you know, it's good exercise, bro. Good exercise. Yes, sir. We have more.
This is the same person who is trolling also says they want to infuse metal with the hood.
Yeah, you should.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's happened. I don't think you'd be innovating,
right?
But hey,
metal with the hood. Plenty of metal.
I'm trying to get a little country dance hall. You know what I mean?
You try and get your little line dance jumping.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. That's it.
Let's see. Good day. Do you know of any apps available that allow you to edit or update metadata in a WAV file or any other audio files? Not offhand. You can try what's it called? File bulk rename utility. Try that. I don't know. I imagine that there is a program out there for that though. I just don't know it off the top.
I actually need to do that because I hate manually doing that, and I feel like I forget to do it in Fruity Loops. I feel like it's a way you could do it, and I keep forgetting to set that. And yeah, I'm just out here. I ain't got nothing in the metas right now.
Hey, yeah. Bulk rename utility might do it or something of the likes.
Oh, just B-Man No DJ says tag is a good one, and he would know.
Of course he would. That's the guy. That's the guy when it comes to that. Appreciate you, bro. Let's see. Do you pitch your drums to the key of the song or to your ear? Well, to the ear mostly, but what's gonna sound good is the key of the song. Yeah. Like, so it's gonna be like the same thing, and not every drum all the time, but certain drums, especially like the duration of a drum, like the longer a drum is and the more frequencies it has, it would benefit for you to kind of tune it.
Sure.
And then sometimes, even if you feel like you don't need to tune your drums, just mess around real quick and tune something up or down, and you may be surprised at how much it changes and makes you be like, oh, okay, yeah, let me get it in.
I tried every time, dog. Every drum is gonna get pitched at least just to try it, just to see if it's better.
Yeah, but yeah, you're gonna notice a difference like immediately. Even with like super short sounds, you think a sound is super short or nondescript, it's not gonna make that much of a difference, but it will. Like hi-hats, like even hi-hats, like little light hi-hats, you pitch them up or down, it's gonna change the feel.
You're right. Because the only thing about pitching to the song is like, say I'm trying to think of a good example. Like say you're in A, but the actual sound is in like a different, like a lower key. You get what I'm saying? Sometimes if the root of it is like in this, I'm just saying C, and then you stretch it up too far, it's gonna sound unnatural and sound crazy. Right. You get what I'm saying? So sometimes tuning to the actual song is like not gonna work. So you gotta just kind of finesse it by ear to see which one sounds good or pick a different sound.
It's gonna feel right at a certain pitch. It's gonna feel good.
Yeah. Yep. Letter L says hats for sure, kicks make me nervous, snares usually straight.
Yeah. Let's see. Despite what I know or don't know, is it worth it going to school for audio engineering? I'm not gonna say it's not worth it. It's more expensive than other ways of doing it, but if you are, I guess it depends on the school you're going to too, but if you are the type of person that's going to go in, really get the knowledge and really apply it, then I can't say that it's a waste of time or a waste of money. There are cheaper alternatives to maybe getting the same information, but there are also benefits of going to school. Like there's accountability because you get graded and you got to be certain places at certain times. So if you got the bread, you got the time, I don't think it's a waste of time. However, I will say, and I've said this on the show before, people that have a certain level of skill before they go in usually consistently have that same type of level of skill when they come out. Meaning someone that may not have known the terms and the technicalities and all that stuff for something, but their mixes were pretty good just off the ear before they went to the school. They're going to be good coming out versus someone who was just like tone deaf and didn't understand going in. A lot of times they come out almost the same way, like just not that great. So I do think a lot of it is just kind of inherent in what you got going on inside.
So letter L brings up a good point. He says, depending on what kind of learner you are, and then he says a good internship can be as good as school. And that's
ain't that the truth? Yeah. That's a fact.
That's facts. Because
super fact.
It's wild because I know people who went to school, right? Mm-hmm. Graduated and are trash, but then I also know people who went to school and are amazing. And then I know people who never went to school and it's the exact same. It's like some are amazing and some are terrible, right? And they probably should have went to school. But I think it's like, if you're going to be good, you're going to be good. If you're that type of person that's going to, you know what I mean, pick it up, you were going to get it anyway, no matter how, you just needed the right tools to get to it.
Yeah. And, yeah. 100%. My nephew, Tay, the producer, he was that. Yeah, Tay was cold, just like as a kid. Like at 13, he was cold, but then he went to Full Sail, came out even colder. But he would have still been cold whether he went or not.
You're right, exactly.
Yeah.
Let's see. Zulu Child says art of beat mixing and vocal mixing is going to school for audio engineering.
Okay. Thank you very much. Shout out to you. And it's very true. And that bumps into another thing. Courses. I'm not really talking too much about tutorials on YouTube, even though those can help. We can talk about those in a minute. But actual courses. It's the same as school. Better to me in a lot of cases. So listen, paying for school could be one thing, but you can get yourself X amount of courses on specific subjects, pay far less, get the same information, if not more, and it's rewatchable, and that's kind of how we try to do our courses. So the art of beat mixing and the art of vocal mixing, they've helped out a lot of people, myself included.
Same here.
Young Trizzy, you see Zulu Child in the chat. But those are thorough, well put together courses. So not saying just go out and buy courses and everything's going to be great. Of course, watch the trailers or watch whatever the course has to offer, even see what's inside. But a thorough, well-devised course, as good as any class you could take anywhere.
Big facts.
Yeah.
Big facts. Yes, sir. Okay.
Big facts.
We got anything else?
Let's see. Hold on. Some cameras. All right. I think we got one or two more questions and we can get out of here. Let's see. Okay, I don't know the answer to that.
Zulu Child says, I went to ODU for music production and I got 10x more out of the 6 months with the art of mixing courses than I spent in 5 years at school.
That's saying a lot. Appreciate you, brother.
The teacher determines a lot too. Because I remember when I was in college, man, I was doing radio. I was doing like mass media. And bro, I knew more about doing radio and how to run the software, everything than my teacher. And it bothered me so bad. But like we were around radio, like, I was always doing stuff and DJing and stuff. So I knew it. But the fact that I knew more than my teacher, bro, and I'm paying all this money for this, I'm just like, all right, man, something ain't right here,
Yes. Facts.
So, how you get taught is a big determination of a lot of stuff.
Yeah. All right. This is an interesting question. Are there any tips that you could share on how to make snares? Also, is there any YouTube channels that you suggest watching on sound design? Okay. When it comes to making snares, let me see a cool tip I can offer. So sometimes you'll make a snare and let's say it'll sound good technically, but it might not like smack or crack the way you want it to. It pays to have very short sounds from other snares, maybe a couple milliseconds long, that you could throw in the front of something to provide an attack. Just kind of like enhancers. Triz, you actually have some enhancers.
I have a pack on there. I feel like I need to do better of explaining to people. It's on me because it was an early kid, but I probably should explain to people why it's important to have those more. And I think it would do better. But it's basically just a kit of those, like those little like punches and like booms and stuff like that to add the drums to give it a different texture. It's just a whole bunch of those where you can like change a snare. So like you pitch a snare down, you layer it with those couple joints, and then it's like you got a whole process it. You got a whole different idea, you know.
Yes. Also, when making snares, if you want them, actually, this goes with snares, kicks, whatever type of drum. If you want them to hit harder or just have more attack, and you don't have any enhancers, put a pitch envelope on it, and then set the. Hold on, I'm trying to think what the parameter is called. Anyway, I forgot the parameter, but you're gonna set it up like two octaves. So your envelope is gonna have a point in the beginning, then it's gonna slope down into the regular sound. And so the pitch, you're gonna pitch it up 2 octaves for maybe like the first very couple of milliseconds. Just pitch it up, and that's gonna give you a quick attack just for those couple of milliseconds, and then it's gonna slope back down into the regular pitch. So think about you hear 808, you hit it and the sound like slopes down and pitch like boom, like that. Just imagine if that gradual decline was just only a couple milliseconds, so much that you can't hear the pitch change of it, but it will just add like extra attack and an extra high frequency in the beginning. So that's one way I used to put attack on my kicks and snares. Just use a pitch envelope.
Gotcha.
Horrible description, but hopefully somebody out there got me.
3K, the producer, says, other than tuning drums, what's another low-hanging fruit technique for drums, I guess?
I'm assuming we're talking about creating drums. Okay.
Well, I think he's talking about just like production, because he mentioned production. The tuning drums. Okay.
Using drums from different sound sources, apply the same type of processing on them to make them sound more like they go together. Of course, that can happen with compression and all that stuff, but I like to think of it as like a filter. Like say on Instagram, you got a black and white filter. So if you make a collage of 3 pictures from 3 different places and all that, they look more like they go together because they all have that black and white filter on. That's why a lot of the samplers I like things that color the sound, because I can have stuff from a whole bunch of different sources, sample them or run them through the same thing, and now they all have a similar characteristic, and it kind of binds them together and make them seem more like a complete package.
Facts. That's the drum. I'm trying to think other than that tuning drum. I mean, I tune and EQ everything, especially drum wise. Like, I at least cut out low ends on certain stuff, like if it doesn't need, just because you'll be surprised of how many, like on a hi-hat, it's like low end coming from nowhere that you don't need, and it's taking up space in your beat, and then it's like, oh well, you can't get as loud, or the quality isn't where you want. It's like you got all these unwanted frequencies. So cleaning up all that stuff as you go and tuning everything. I feel like, and then like you were saying, like grouping everything together and then giving that the texture. I feel like that's the secret. That's the sauce.
Yes, sir. Letter LB said transient shaping for sure. Okay. Yeah, transient shaping. All right. I think we might be done.
Okay.
That filter analogy was tough. Appreciate it. Let's go. If there's more.
Okay. This Ad Brow one. It's interesting. It's okay. He says, how do you teach, or what are some techniques in teaching an 11-year-old sound selection? So how do you teach? I mean, it could go really from anybody, but how do you teach somebody sound selection?
Have them study sound selection first. Like just, and this is off the top, but like listen to a song with them and like, all right, describe this kick to me. Describe that snare to me. Like what is that? I just think that this technique is this technique that I would try, because it would get the person to articulate what it is. Because sometimes you have a feeling of things and you kind of know what things are, but you don't really describe them in your mind. And I think that would help. And then that would also let me know how the person views certain sounds. So when teaching them sound selection, I can describe things that I know that they will get. So it's not necessarily teaching them sound selection as much as it is proper preparation to understand how to teach them good sound selection. So for instance, with certain genres, you're like, oh yeah, just a short kick, kind of like short snare, kind of Remy, or something like that. Just a little quick description. So having people verbally describe sounds was the first thing I would do.
Yeah, and I would just say like try to explain the why like something is the way it is. Yes. So it's like if they hear like a melody and it's like, okay, this melody has a little bass in there, like like you were saying, like listen and explain the characteristics, but like why does this work that way? And I think that the sooner you could get someone thinking of like, oh, okay, why is this 808 sitting like that? And then it's like, okay, then you got to work backwards of like, okay, it's probably in mono, they EQ'd it a certain way, like then you'll start teaching yourself like, okay, this is the steps.
That's true. Yeah. Compound teaching, because then you learn short kicks work best for side chaining.
Exactly.
And long kicks kind of suck for that.
Belistic Production says, describe what you like. I like fast spider sounds. Points.
Killed it.
What is dinosaur? No, if you would have said teaching a 5-year-old sound selection, I could see it. 11-year-olds, I feel like they pretty grown.
They got it. Yeah, they know what's up. Up.
Yeah, I had other than my kid, I don't be around many kids, so I'm confused on what the 11-year-old age is like. So I have no idea.
Yeah, I'm definitely not. Well, no. I was about to say I'm never around any 11-year-olds. I'll be a rich crib. One of Rich's sons is around that age. So.
Oh, okay.
But hey, they are pretty. They're pretty smart. Like they're pretty at that age. You're pretty grown.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Slim Trill says, okay, like what instrument does that instrument complement? And
yes,
good point.
Yes, very good. Yeah, for sure.
Letter L says, I'm tutoring a 15-year-old. We listen to his favorite YouTube producers. A lot of have even connected the producer, and he sent the kid sounds. Oh, that's fire.
That's super fire. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. All right. Listen, man, we out of here, bro.
You done?
Unless we got one more. No. Nope. That's it. We're gonna stop at the Slim Trill jump.
Yes, sir.
Listen, man, this has been a interesting,
tumultuous,
to say the least.
Can I use that word, tumultuous? Is that a good time to use that?
Tumultuous,
word?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This has been a interesting and tumultuous episode of UnQuantized podcast. But listen, hold on, let me get some sounds going on. Before we do get out of here, though, I didn't even ask you what you got to promote. But before we even get into that, I want to say, shout out to everybody that's been emailing, DMing, commenting under the podcast clips and all that. A lot of people like, yo, this topic helped me out. It helped me change my life. Or, you guys always have the best tips. I love this show, man. Just shout out,
yes, sir.
Shout out to all y'all, man. For real, that's the best. I don't know. It's just the best feeling. It lets us know that what we do on Fridays is not for nothing. So, man, exactly. One more time. Shout out to all y'all, man. Spam the hearts for your damn self. Man, y'all are awesome,
Yes, sir.
So, Young Trizza, man, what you got going on to tell the folks about?
Been trapping 6. That's it. Get the sample pack. It's probably the greatest trap sample pack ever created. It's MIDI, melody loops. We got drums, and you get the bonus ebook created by your boy Trizza and your boy Young Oracle. It's gonna be in the Hall of Fame. It's putting up numbers, man. It's not LeBron last night. It's actually being clutch, and it's actually pulling up, and it's gonna make it to the the finals. So
pulling up numbers like Kwame Brown on YouTube. No, but anyway, listen, go to soundoracle.net. You already know Ben Trapper 6 is where it's at. Also, today is the last day of Cook-Up Week. For soundoracle.net. If you don't know what Cook-Up Week is, man, it's just where you can get your favorite sounds. at a more reasonable, reasonable price. So you can go in and get multiples if you'd like.
Yes, sir.
Just go ahead to the site. Go ahead and hit the link in my bio. You'll learn all about Cookup Week. But today, actually, in a few hours, you will not be able to get the 30% off the courses. You will not be able to get the discounts off the sample packs, any of that good stuff. So make sure you hop on it, man. SoundOracle.net. So listen, now, with that being said, for real, it's been another episode of UnQuantized Podcast. Thank you all for joining us on another Friday. And